The Norman Lear Award recognizes a producer for their extraordinary body of work in television. Norman Lear would always lead with heart and humor in his storytelling. He had a gift for creating empathy for one another, even in our differences. Taika Waititi shares this gift. Whether it's his writing, directing, acting, or producing, Taika finds a way to engage the audience through insight and laughter. His storytelling invites us all to see the world through the perspective of characters worlds away or right next door. He invites us to see the world through the lens of hope and humanity, no matter how uncomfortable the subject matter. In addition to being a master storyteller, Taika is a mentor. Through his New Zealand-based Peaky Films, he creates opportunities for storytellers to share their unique perspective that wouldn't otherwise be told. Now, I've known and worked with Taika for many years, and I can tell you firsthand that his enthusiasm is infectious. His unique perspective permeates through everything he does as he invites us to recognize our shared humanity while never losing sight of what makes us each unique. Now let's have a look at the work of Taika Waititi. It is my pleasure to introduce the recipient of this year's 2025 Norman Lear Achievement Award, Taika Waititi.
Jon, thank you so much for doing this for me. I love you, Jon. I've been a huge admirer of Jon's for a long time, and we're friends. I can call him my friend now. Not all of you can call him your friend. It's my friend. Okay, kia ora, everybody. The Norman Lear Award. Wow. Or as we would say in New Zealand. I am truly honoured to receive this award, especially because it bears the name Norman Lear. And upon reflection, I think it's pretty appropriate that I get this award because Norman and myself share a lot in common. Making television, we share some excellent Russian Jewish roots and genes, and both our dads went to jail. I don't really know what, let's just scroll through that bit. That seemed really good this morning, but nah. Okay, hang on. Okay, yeah. I've had the privilege of working alongside actual, real-life, proper producers. I'm one of those ones who I'm a producer. And I'd like to send love to these people who have been with me throughout my career. Starting with the super trusting and gullible folks at FX. Thank you. You guys. Thank you so much for believing in Indigenous stories and believing that they could be more than just brown people standing on a mountain top playing a flute and talking to ancestors. And also for giving vampires the exposure that they've never, ever, ever in the history of cinema or television ever had before. And Dana, thank you especially for the support. While this is an award for television, I'd also like to extend, get a little bit out on there. And thank also my friends at Searchlight and Disney and Marvel for being super supportive of me. And my date tonight, Kathy O'Neill, who produced Jojo Rabbit, who's a very dear friend of mine, is at the table. Yeah, no, not that bit. Scroll that bit. No. Okay. And there are too many others to name here. Also, if I should thank you, just yell out your name now. Okay, thought so. Okay, so, but yeah, some brilliant people I've worked with, from the brilliant and ever-inspiring Jermaine Clement, Sterling Harjo, Carthew, and Charles Yu, from those guys to psychos like Garrett Bash. And I'd also like to acknowledge my team, because you gotta have a team when you're in Hollywood. We talk about our teams. And there at that table, Rowena Argelis, Dan Halstead, Joe Mann, Jeff Endlick, Rob Keneally, Alex Mebed. I am amazed I remembered your guys' names. But I do thank you, and I'm very happy you're here because it means that you're not emailing me. And I can just ignore you in person. Another person I'd like to acknowledge tonight is Brian. Don't you think I've forgotten about you? Another person I'd like to thank tonight is a true ally, Bird Running Water. Some of you know him. He's a champion of Native voices, and he programmed my very first short film, Two Cars One Night, at Sundance in 2002. And that kickstarted my opportunities and career in Hollywood. And without his support, all those years ago, I wouldn't be the stressed out, anxiety-ridden shell of a human you see barely standing before you tonight. Thank you, Bird. And finally, I'd like to thank my mum. My mother, you got to thank your mum, because they find out if you don't, for leaving me all those years ago at home by myself with a television. My original babysitter, probably my real mum. When you think about it, in the 80s. And television raised me, and it fed me on chips and Benson and MASH. Those other shows, I've forgotten. Go back up, because I skipped something. And that fed, yeah, that's right. And now I get to create stories that do the same thing for a whole new generation of kids being ignored by their parents. So, thank you to the PGA, everyone else, for this collective moment of delusion where we pretend I know what I'm doing. I don't. None of us do. You don't. I've seen all your stuff. I've seen all your shows and your movies. You don't know what you're doing. None of us do, and that's what makes it fun, so continue to have fun, because this isn't really a real job. And one day, they will find out. And they'll come for us. So let's build a little wall around this room, because this is where we're safe. Because we all know what the alternative is. Think of that first job you had. That's what you can go back to. All right, have a wonderful evening. Thank you, PGA. I appreciate you. Modi ora.